Evening, y'all. Chief Prepper here. The house, apparently, according to a news ticker that ran across the bottom of my TV about half an hour, 45 minutes ago, has passed the debt ceiling. Assuming the Senate doesn't kill it, I don't see them doing it. You know that the clock is ticking. All right. You know you have till about this time, maybe a little later in the summer next year, before things start getting ignorant. You know that the food is going to become a problem around Christmas time. So you need to have a plan on what you're going to do. To share a little personal information, I have an aging father that's going to die. He may die this year, if not, probably for sure next year. The soonest I can unload his house is the soonest I can actually buy land. In addition to that, I may be in a position to take out a loan to buy the land next year if I meet certain goals. But on top of that, I'm going to be trying to harden my position here. You say, what does that mean? I'm going to try to expand the space that is occupiable here, because I've extended invitations to certain people that if shit goes sideways, that they can come here with their family. And when you do that kind of stuff, you need space for people who can't be living in on top of each other. So when you look for land, there's all kinds of information out there. I'm going to give you two basic things. You want to be remote, but you want to be close enough to society where you can get information if you can't get it from where you're at. Preferably maybe where you might have internet service. If not, you can always get used in. You want a water source, preferably two. The one plot of land I was looking at was almost 18 acres. Had 2 stock tanks on it. Huge evidence of wild game in the area. White-tailed deer and wild hogs for sure. Probably other things too. If you can get land where there's a creek, even if it's dry part of the year, you can harvest water from it. If you buy land, as long as there's no house on it, you don't have to have mortgage insurance. If you're like me, I plan to develop the land, put a carport in it for sure, and put a rain catchment system in. You know, you need to be aware of the area you live in, because if you're not getting a lot of rain, you need to be able to have water even when there's no rain. You also need to know how much water you need, especially if you're going to try and plant crops, which you will need to be able to do. So I say make a plan. If you didn't start thinking about this and making a plan to get out of the city, you need to now, because you need to know. Sadly, we're at probably the end of the great experiment called America. So the United States of America is probably going to fall, and I hate saying it. It's just we've taken on too much debt. There may be some grand plan, but peons like me and probably the people who watch this stuff and the people who watch a lot of the prepper shit on YouTube, we ain't in the group. So short of nukes flying, short of a conventional war here, grid down, probably got till next summer. So start thinking about what you're going to do. And if you cannot get out of the city and you cannot move, then consider buying some land and making sure you have a way to get there. Maybe pre-stage and stuff. You know, build something strong enough that it will take a lot of work for someone to break into. And if you're close enough to have internet services, put a camera up so you can watch. Call the cops, have them show up and arrest the son of a bitch. So I can tell you that a mechanic friend of mine that I use for things that I can't do, he said somebody told him they answered the door the other night. Somebody was in the door, said, hey man, I ain't got no money, you got some money? And the guy said no, went to close the door. The man put his foot in the door, pulled a gun and sprayed the door with bullets. Luckily, the man who owned the house got grazed on the right shoulder up here, and then bullets went left and right of his head. Then the guy ran off. So we're not even to the point where people are starving yet and things are getting ignorant. So please be careful. That's all I'm going to say about that. Information is knowledge and power. Chief Prepper, out.